mainline Christian denomination prays to Allah at its national meeting. The House Committee on Benghazi releases its report, and Britain may just have escaped the EU in the nick of time. This is SkyWatch TV for June 29th, 2016. I'm Derek Gilbert. First, a couple of notes. Earlier this week, I reported on the Supreme Court ruling striking down Texas regulations of abortion clinics, requiring those clinics to meet hospital-like standards in its clinics and to require that its doctors have admitting privileges at nearby hospitals. I incorrectly identified Justice Anthony Kennedy as one of the three who sided with the state of Texas in their ruling. That was incorrect. It was actually Justice Samuel Alito who voted with Justice Clarence Thomas and Chief Justice John Roberts, and I regret the error. Also, today, trying something different, working with notes instead of a more fully scripted version of this program, wanting to see if it would contribute to a more conversational style, and if it does, if conversational is actually better. So thank you for serving as a guinea pig today. First up, of course, the tragic terror attack in Istanbul, Turkey yesterday. 41 people killed, nearly 150 wounded in a suicide bombing at the airport in Istanbul, the third busiest airport in Europe. The attack began at 9 p.m. local time. They opened fire with police, then detonated their bomb vests near the entrance area at the airport. Again, 41 dead, nearly 150 wounded. As of this recording, no one has claimed responsibility yet, but the Prime Minister of Turkey, Binali Yildirim, is blaming the Islamic State. Russian President Vladimir Putin called Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to express condolences for the Istanbul airport bombing, but they've also begun the process of reconciliation. You might remember last November when the Turkish Air Force shot down a Russian warplane over Syria. Relationship between the two countries turned frosty in a hurry, to the point where there was some speculation that NATO might be called upon to defend Turkey against an attack by Russia. Tensions were pretty high between Thanksgiving and Christmas over that event. Earlier this week, President Erdogan sent an official apology to the Russian government. Russian lawmakers said, better late than never. Russia has begun lifting sanctions against Turkey, and apparently the two beginning to see some common ground in working against the Islamic State in Syria instead of supporting the Islamic State in the case of Turkey. The two men have also agreed to meet in person to begin to work on developing the relationship going forward. Israel and Turkey also patching things up. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Erdogan have agreed on details of a bilateral reconciliation agreement. The relationship between Turkey and Israel soured after the incident on the MV Mavi Marmara 5 years ago. That was a ship that was headed from Turkey to the Gaza Strip. Now, Israel enforces a naval blockade of the Gaza Strip to keep weapons out. This ship from Turkey was part of what they called a Freedom Flotilla. It was boarded by Israeli military. 9 Turkish nationals died. Now, Turkey has abandoned its requirement for normalizing relations of the lifting of the naval blockade. Israel's having to give up quite a bit here, $20 million in reparations to the families of those who were killed, and the Hamas command center in Istanbul will remain. But apparently both Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Erdogan see they've got more to gain by working together than continuing to fight, especially in Turkey's case. If things go bad with Russia again, since Turkey gets most of its natural gas from Russia, Israel, which is sitting on potentially huge reserves of natural gas in the eastern Mediterranean, will be a good friend to have. In Syria, American-backed rebels, the Free Syrian Army, apparently have grabbed a key air base located on a key supply route between the Islamic State positions in Iraq and Syria. Having said that, the Pentagon continues to spend millions of dollars to train rebels to go into the fight in As of today, the resurrected Train and Equip program, which has cost tens of millions of dollars, has sent fewer than 100 men onto the battlefield. And according to the most recent report to Congress, the ones there now aren't really fighting. They're serving as spotters to call in airstrikes. Frankly, it seems to me that the money would be better spent if we just sent it directly to the Kurds, who are actually doing some fighting. The House Committee on Benghazi released its official report. 2 years of work, $7 million in cost, 800 pages of report, and it's very critical of former Secretary of State and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. What has come out of this report is a picture of the State Department wasting valuable time debating whether or not any military support for the men in the consulate in Benghazi should wear their uniforms. Apparently, Mrs. Clinton and her staff were more concerned about annoying the new government in Libya by displaying the flag than they were by actually helping the men who were under fire. And of course, while this was going on, they were also debating how they were going to spin the story the following day to blame it on that stupid YouTube video that had nothing to do with the attack. A few other notable things in the report, including the fact that nothing was actually sent to Benghazi, in spite of clear orders from President Obama and Secretary of Defense Panetta. Military sat on the tarmac waiting for a go order that was never given, even though the last 2 men killed in the consulate weren't actually dead until 8 hours after the attack began. The anti-security team on the ground in Spain, waiting for orders to go, reportedly changed in and out of their uniforms 4 times while the State Department debated whether or not it was okay to, send them in uniform. The Clinton campaign, of course, responded very quickly, saying this was nothing more than a rehash of discredited conspiracy theories. Britain may have gotten out of the EU just in time. A report broke yesterday in Poland that France and Germany have drawn up plans to turn the EU into a United States-style superstate that would compel the member states of the European Union to give up control of their militaries and their economies to an EU government based in Brussels. Poland, which has been a pretty strong ally of England and shares that anti-UK or anti-EU sentiment, not very happy about this report. We'll see what happens. As of yesterday, there were reports that as many as 10 other states in the EU might look at a resolution referenda of their own on whether or not they should remain as part of the EU. But the globalist elites pushing us back toward a one-world government won't give up without a fight. This headline you see on your screen was published in Foreign Policy. It's written by one of its editors. And yes, the phrase ignorant masses is directed at you and me. According to Mr. Traub in his article, globalization is the issue, and those of us who object to it are, quote, older people whose familiar world is vanishing beneath a welter of foreign tongues and multicultural celebrations. In other words, we're irrational and we're angry, mainly because we're afraid and we can't adapt to a new world order. The world is changing. I guess we're supposed to just get with it, or in the words of President Obama, be quiet, sit down, and eat your peas. Nationalism is not to be tolerated in the New World Order as they push us back toward Babel. And a couple final stories as we consider the state of the faith here in the United States. Frankly, it's rapidly becoming the Church of Laodicea. 2 U.S. jurisdictions of the United Methodist Church will consider 3 openly gay candidates for bishop. Now, the 2016 General Conference, which recently concluded, decided not to consider any proposals related to human sexuality. They have, however, agreed to create a commission to explore the topic, which may lead to a special session of the conference in 2017 or 2018 or 2019. If it follows a path of history, like the Evangelical Lutheran Church, opening the door by creating this commission will mean that door won't be closed again. I fully expect to see the United Methodist Church in the United States welcoming openly gay clergy within the next 2 or 3 years. Now, the church hasn't been in any rush to create this commission, according to the United Methodist News Service, and that's probably because there are leaders within the church who recognize what's happening and are trying to slow it down. But there are already regional conferences, there are 56 of them inside the United States, who have already ordained LGBT clergy or stated publicly that they will not conform to or comply with the sexuality provisions of the Methodist Book of Discipline. And the Presbyterian Church USA had its General Assembly last week in Portland. And this prayer was part of the opening session.
Oh Allah, bless us and bless our families and bless our world. Lead us to the straight path, the path of all the prophets, Abraham, Ishmael and Isaac, Moses and Jesus and Muhammad. Peace be upon them all. Amen. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, let us praise the Lord, the Creator of the universe, the most merciful, the most compassionate, and the Lord of the universe.
That's Wajidi Saeed, co-founder of the Muslim Education Trust, leading the attendees in a prayer to the Islamic deity, who is not to be confused with Yahweh, the God of the Bible. Later, at the conclusion of the opening session, Reverend Grady Parsons offered an apology to anyone who was offended, not an apology for praying to a pagan god. Now, remember that there is a difference between the Presbyterian Church USA and the Presbyterian Church in America, the PCA. And put the PCUSA in the category of apostate denominations. This week on SkyWatch TV, we talk about the way the United States have changed in our lifetime. What have we lost and how do we get it back? It's a discussion of the new book, When Once We Were a Nation. 12 chapters, 12 topics, 12 authors. And on SkyWatch TV this week, we talked to Tom Horn and Chris Putnam, Allie Anderson, and my best friend, Sharon Gilbert, about their contributions to the book. You'll see it coast to coast this afternoon on the Cornerstone Network, and tonight as we debut on the World Harvest Television Network. That's part of LaCie Broadcasting. World Harvest Television is on DirecTV, channel 367. You'll see the program on the Cornerstone Network at 2:30 p.m. Central Time and at 6 p.m. Central Time on World Harvest Television. That follows the Jim Baker program. And again this weekend, the program will air on the Victory Television Network down in Arkansas and around Memphis, 3:30 p.m. Saturday afternoon Central Time, and on WCLF-TV in the Tampa-St. Petersburg area. Of course, the program also available right now on demand on the SkyWatch TV channel on Roku. We've extended the special introductory offer for the new SkyWatch TV magazine. The first issue is going out in just a few days. But while this offer lasts, you can get 5 years of the new magazine, monthly magazine, for the price of 3. Plus, we'll add the new book, I Predict What 12 Global Experts Believe You Will See by 2025. Includes chapters from best-selling authors like Joel Richardson, Carl Gallups, Mark Biltz, Troy Anderson, Paul McGuire, and more. Tell you how you can take advantage of that offer at the end of this program. And please remember our exclusive online content, these daily news updates, interviews that we can't fit into the weekly network schedule. This week, Opal Singleton tells you how internet-connected video games are being used by predators to target and groom our children and draw them into lives of prostitution, pornography, and drug abuse. It's information you need if you're a parent or a grandparent. You'll find that program along with our weekly web exclusives, Into the Multiverse with Josh Peck and Sci Friday with my best friend, Sharon Gilbert. All of those available at the SkyWatch TV channels on Roku, YouTube, Vimeo, and also SkyWatchTV.com. And if you'd like to take SkyWatch TV with you while you're doing things where you can't watch a screen, please download the SkyWatch TV podcast, audio-only versions of all of our programs. We update the podcast every single day of the week. You'll find the SkyWatch TV podcast suitable for your MP3 player, smartphone, tablet, or other portable device, skywatchtv.com, and then look in the top menu bar where it says podcast. You can help us out with just a click of your mouse finger. Whenever you see SkyWatch TV online, whether it's at the website, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, wherever we happen to be, even YouTube, click like, click share, click subscribe. We do appreciate that. And here's where you'll find all of my stuff online, Twitter, Facebook, my website, and my new YouTube channel. Please subscribe and share there. And if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please send those to me at dgilbert@skywatchtv.com. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatch TV. Save nearly half off the cover price when you subscribe now to the brand new SkyWatch TV magazine. For a limited time, a 5-year subscription to SkyWatch TV magazine is just $99. That's more than $75 off the cover price, which is like getting 2 years for free. Exclusive content, articles on prophecy, discovery, and the supernatural from Tom Horn, Chris Putnam, Josh Peck, science updates from Sharon K. Gilbert, geopolitics from yours truly, and guest writers like Pulitzer Prize-nominated journalist Troy Anderson, renowned Bible scholar Dr. Michael Heiser, Pentagon advisor Lieutenant Colonel Bob McGinnis, and more. But there is more. As an early subscriber, you'll be the first to get this new book from Defender Publishing. I predict what 12 global experts believe you'll see by 2025. This is a $20 value and includes best-selling authors like Joel Richardson, Mark Biltz, Carl Gallups, Tom Horn, Paul McGuire, and more. Find out what they think about the coming war between ISIS and the Vatican, the future of the Temple Mount and the Ark of the Covenant, a worldwide manifestation of angels, and the coming age of human hybrids. And we'll also add this DVD, The Best of SkyWatch TV 2015, a $25 value, including our most compelling interviews from last year, including Chuck Missler, Steve Quayle, the discussion of the Georgia Guidestones with Chris Pinto, and more. All of this together worth more than $200. Yours now for just $99. Subscribe now. SkyWatch TV magazine. Just call the number on your screen or log on to skywatchtvstore.com.